Hello everyone, welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I'm Sientir, as you might guess, and yes, I am kind of mimicking Draw with Jazza for anybody who knows about that art channel. And today I am continuing my path from where I left off last time. Just making my way... okay, well that was whatever. Just making my way to Yak's Bend. And trying not to kill myself with empathy, I guess? Man, there's a lot of elite skills that I should pick up on this character. I was just thinking about it, and I should really pick up empathic removal, because it's good. Actually, this is a really good question. Actually, you tell me the answer. Okay, that's 3-second recharge. Ooh, 10 health. And that's 50 health with a 7-second recharge and 5 energy. That's interesting. So if you're using it for the condition and hex removal, it's probably vaguely... that's super suboptimal if you can't invest in divine favor. Okay. Okay, so since last time and this time, I took a quick look at a list of topics that I had written down of things that I might want to talk about while we are wandering through Tyria together. And one of the ones on my list that I just want to bring up briefly, because it's not a very long topic, I don't think. I mean, maybe I shouldn't underestimate how long my topics can randomly be, is there's 3 words that are kind of used interchangeably, which would be cussing, cursing, and swearing. But I don't think that these are the same thing at all. Cussing is the word that I like to use for using vulgar language, like the F word, S word, or whatever else you want to call those sorts of things. Whereas, in my mind, swearing is invoking something to indicate your honesty or your truthfulness. So, for example, if somebody says, I don't know, they swear by blah, 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 that such and such thing happened, what they're trying to do is invoke the name or reputation of the thing that they name, usually God, for example. So usually people say they swear to God something. And that's invoking that thing as they're taking on that as a sign of their faithfulness. And I don't think of swearing as using vulgar language. And what was the other one? Cursing. Yes, cursing is often also used to describe those sorts of things. However, what I think of cursing as is wishing ill on someone. So sometimes cussing is used in the process of cursing, if that makes sense. But I don't necessarily... I think that there's 2 separate things. Ooh, highly salvageable. I'm intentionally mispronouncing salvageable. It's just something I've done for some reason. So, like I said, I think that there's actually differences between those 3 things. So I prefer cussing for when somebody uses foul language or vulgar language or whatever people want to call it. I don't tend to use those words myself, but I don't mind it per se. There is something that does really bother me as a Christian when people use Jesus Christ as a cuss word or cuss phrase, whatever. It does bother me a lot. It's like somebody you really, really respect. I don't know. Say some president from history, like George Washington, maybe. Or Abraham Lincoln or whatever, and using their name when you're upset or angry or whatever, it's not very respectful, and most people would probably look at you weird if you did that, but like our culture has kind of adopted this convention for some reason. I really wish it hadn't, but there's not a whole lot that I can do about the fact that it has. I'm going to kick Daedalon here, because it doesn't make sense to bring him... and I'm going to switch around what Elias is doing, because I don't think a minion master is really where it's at here. Like, that's okay, but not that. There's some skill that does like, oh, is it under curses? I'm looking for, right now I'm suddenly struck by a desire to have it be able to filter by to to be able to do a search. No, it's just straight up. Oh, well, okay. Well, whatever. Yeah, sure. Soul reaping. That is what I wanted. That skill just does a bunch of area of effect damage when enemies die. Blood magic and curses are not actually especially useful right now. So we can leave blood magic open, I guess. But we're not doing anything with curses. I'm just thinking about how I want to proceed. We can keep animate bunion minions, but I don't want... not great. I know this is not the most exciting thing for me to be doing, but that's what's up right now. I mean, it's mostly just like running Icy Veins plus some other random stuff. So let's throw in Well of Suffering for no good reason. And I need to find Favor open. And, I mean, I guess I can just run some of this minion-y stuff. That's I don't know. We'll leave that one on. And we'll just throw on some random damage spells. I guess that's fine. You're doing fine things. Excuse me. This character, realistically, like Signet of Spirits is a bit silly. Blood Song is okay, but let's just do... Where's... I know, this is the longest part of it, is when I'm trying to look for specific skills. And I don't know where they are, or what I want. Let's just throw Rejuvenation on. Ancestor's Rage is fine. Boon of Creation, I guess, can stay there, but let's drop... Actually, let's just drop that. We don't need that either. And we don't need Bloodsong. In fact, we don't need Spawning Power. Who needs Spawning Power? Okay. So, I'm just going to... let's see. This seems fine. Let's see. Yeah, I'm suddenly being struck by how this would be. This displays list, maybe. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I'm just used to my grid. So it feels really uncomfortable. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. And then Soothing Memories and like Spirit Rift is really interesting, but it's clunky. It's super clunky. I guess we just throw on throw on Milani. Let's make her our Paragon, And you don't need mysticism. You need Scythe Mastery and Command. And we'll just have you do completely untypical things. Mostly this is for fallback. Fallback is a temporary speed buff to the entire party, which is really handy. And the best res in the game. Yeah, that sounds good. And then incoming lasts just as long. Like, the problem is both Paragons and Dervishes have really lame quantities of good skill. Let's just go Warrior with Tactics. This episode is going to be Sientir comes up with a new build. I apologize for that. Charge just lasts a bit longer and is more exciting. So that's why I'm going with it here. Yeah, that is fine. And Radiant Scythe. A lot of these are kind of redundant. To the Limit seems cool. And let's just load her down with attack skills for no good reason, shall we? And Healing Signet, 'cause why not? And then for my part, I also want to be part Warrior, and I want to put these in... That is Monk, not Warrior. I want to put these in Tactics myself. Oh. Ha! That's funny. That makes sense. I'm gonna use that and yeah, that. And let's throw on... that's not useful. Let's see. Oh, I could use Dwarven Stability. I don't feel like using Dwarven Stability. Actually not quite the move that I wanted anyway. Of that, let's just use Flurry. And like that's fine. And this seems reasonable. And why do I have command open? I have like no points in command. I know I have command open actually. It's because of the one thing. I can daze foes. Let's just throw on. What I'm learning is this character needs more elite skills. So let's just take this, whatever, and let's at least make our way to the Ascalonian foothills, because this episode has been too much of me spending my time making a build, and that's not truly the most interesting thing to watch, I don't think. What you'll notice is that enemies should go down even faster than they were going down before. They should just die pretty quickly. So this is an increased attack speed skill. By 33%, you deal 25% less damage, but with the increased attack speed, it kind of works out better in the long run. At least that's what the math always has been. Although, granted, a lot of the enemies are just going to go down pretty quickly anyway. That's how it goes. Juniper barks. And now I have passivism on me. It effect ends if I take damage, but for 14 seconds I can't attack. So I can be like, hey, here's some enemies. And it's like, yep, you found some enemies. Yeah. Ascalonian Foothills is actually not that far away, so we're gonna head and go. I keep closing, like I close that because I want to. What's the right phrase? Find something interest? No, I want to like see where I am with the map. Well, I mean, I can't just leave. What is this, like 4 gold lying around or whatever? And no, it's interesting. Games like this. So one of the skills you saw me grab was Icy Veins, which says target is struck for some cold damage, and then for 30 seconds, if it dies, all nearby foes are struck for 92 cold damage. So they're struck by an amount of cold damage, and they're struck by nearby foes are struck by a larger amount of cold damage when the enemy dies. And skills like that are really cool, and I think it's really a good idea for games to have a mix of like cannon fodder and non-cannon fodder, because the cannon fodder can make you feel really powerful, while the non-cannon fodder gives a challenge. But I think could be really interesting. So something like Icy Veins, you use it on an enemy, and it like takes them out, and then you take them out, and it like wipes out everything around them. That sort of thing is really, really cool. But anyway, I mean, I don't digress. There's no digressing. But that's I don't know, just random thought. Anyway, we're in the Ascalonian Foothills, so our next stop is the next zone, and then Greenwich Courthouse, I think. So until then. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.